Hello, I'm Jeremy Schubeck, and welcome to the Photoshop Expert Series, episode 3. I hope my fingers aligned there. What we're going to be talking about in this session is how to get this selected out, just so we get that in about 30 seconds. How you can do a selection like this in 30 seconds. All right, so in order to do that, we're going to use a tool that was introduced in CS5, or CS4 maybe, the Quick Select. It's located in the same place as the wand, the Magic Wand tool, not so magic anymore, but the Quick Select tool is fantastic. So this works like any brush tool. When I say it works like any brush tool, I mean you can click and drag, and if you're really bad at brush tools, you know that you can go up here in order to change their size, and then you can change their size like this. But that's not particularly helpful. If you right-click, you get the right-click options of any selection tool. I'm going to create a new document. There we go. And I just want to show you a quick keyboard shortcut for brush tools. All right, so basically, the keyboard shortcut that I want to show you is this is your brush tool. In order to increase its size, you hit the square bracket key. So the key that looks like this, the right square bracket key. That'll increase its size. In order to decrease its size, you hit the left square bracket key. And that is all you need to know about brushes. It works for brushes. It works for any tool that is a brush tool. And that's what you need to know about brushes. So right square bracket key, really good to know. Left square bracket key, also really good to know. Let's get out of that. All right, so getting back to here and using the quick selection key, W to get to it, in order to increase its size, you just hit the right square bracket key because that's how it works for any brush tool. So I'm just going to drag across this. Now, obviously, this is a image that isn't so hard to select because it has a very solid red background. In fact, something that might be worth doing, Control D to deselect, is trying to select the red rather than trying to select the object inside of the red. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to select this object because I will assume in the real world, which is a place that these tutorials do not exist, they are, I don't know, just a strange byproduct of fantasy land, let's be honest. You're not doing work, I'm not doing work, I'm just creating tutorials, you're just watching tutorials. Neither of us are getting more done. You're learning a bit though. I don't know what I'm getting out of this. You'll notice that I'm just zooming in with Control plus, zooming out with Control minus, and then increasing and decreasing the size of this. And then I'm just quickly swiping along, and then I'm hitting spacebar to pan around. And I'm just making sure never to go outside of this. And as long as I do that, I should be able to get a rather good selection just doing that. You'll notice how this edge just kind of fixed itself right there. It's kind of tough for it to deal with it right here because there's a lot of red spill off happening right there. So I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to just Control minus. Notably, my computer's running a little bit slower because I have some recording software going on, which is why you're able to watch it. But with that said, this isn't going that slowly. So here we go. If I were to turn off auto enhance up here, I imagine it would go a little bit faster, but I want it to be automatically enhanced. All right, so you'll see just clicking and dragging across, we have a pretty good selection. Fact is, it'll never be perfect right off of the bat, so I'm going to use the lasso tool, just the polygonal lasso tool, to go in and just make those final changes. In order to add to the selection, you hold down Shift, and then you can just kind of add to the selection like I'm doing here. And in order to subtract from the selection, so let's say in this corner, for instance, just hold down Alt and I can kind of subtract from the selection a little bit there. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Refine Edge. So again, Refine Edge was located up here if you have any of the selection tools selected. And first thing I do with Refine Edge is I zero out all of the values. So you'll notice that I set all of them at value at 0. I don't set all of them at value. That wouldn't make much sense. Then I just put this on whatever is most unforgiving. So it looks like white is significantly less forgiving. You'll notice I can see a problem that's cropping up right here. And this is a problem you'll get, here, show original, we haven't made any changes. When using the quick select tool, this little like weirdo edge thing that's happening right there, that happens a lot with the quick selection tool. So in order to change that, I'm going to bump up the contrast. And you'll notice that it just kind of fixes it right there. Then I'm going to feather the edges ever so slightly. So that just blurs the edges so slightly. If I wanted the corners to be less sharp, I could go to smooth, and I could smooth everything out a bit. And you'll notice what that did. I do not want to smooth everything out a bit. And then I'm going to shift the edges in a little bit just to get that perfect selection. Now that looks good. I don't want to worry about Smart Radius right now. All the other options I won't worry about. And I'm just going to press OK. It'll enhance my selection. I'll hit Control-0 to select it all. Control-Shift-I to invert the selection. Press Delete, deselect, and that looks pretty good to me. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test this by creating a new layer and then assigning a very unforgiving color to it. So just Alt-Delete to fill the layer with the color. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. I can put this on whatever I want right now. So that is the way to use Quick Select with Refined Selection. This has been Jeremy Schuback in the Photoshop Expert Series. In the next session, because you always need a good cliffhanger, or why would you come back otherwise? I'm going to show you how to do more or less this same thing, only with a much busier background and a much more complicated image. And we're going to get into how to refine it even further. So we're going to select out this image perfectly. All right, thanks for joining me. Please click subscribe, please tell your friends, and I always enjoy your comments. This has been Jeremy Schuback.